Hi everybody, this lesson will focus on metadata manipulation, which corresponds to the insert, overwrite, update, and delete operations on nodes and edges. Let's first try out with Ultipa Manager. This is the graph model that we created in the previous lesson. And in the shortcut, these two buttons on top can insert nodes and edges without specifying IDs. Let's add node first. And after selecting the schema, all the non-system properties are listed. And now I've created the first node. It is a bank card. And in the schema list, we can see the total number of nodes and the number of nodes under this schema are both renewed. Click the symbol, this symbol of I in the row of schema name. A command of finding 10 metadata under this schema is auto-composed. And let's run it. Ultipa Manager displays nodes or edges in the list view by default. As we didn't specify the ID just now, the ID is auto-created. For node, there are two types of IDs, the ID of string type and the ID of number type. The string ID is more practical in real applications. We can also switch the list view to 2D view if needed, but that will be discussed in the next lesson. Now let's continue adding more nodes. When inserting metadata, a property value which is omitted or provided in the wrong data type will be set to default value. Like a number will be set to 0, a string, text, or datetime will be set to empty. A timestamp will be set to 0 time. The integer that was omitted just now has been set to 0, and the datetime is set to empty. Sometimes we want to customize the ID of metadata, and this should be done when inserting the metadata into the graph set, since the ID cannot be changed once the metadata is inserted. Compose an insert command. Where we specify the string ID to be card004. And we can see that the new node just added is with ID specified by us. The insert operation does not allow duplication of ID. For example, if I run this insert command again, I will definitely receive an error message from the server saying that the ID already exists. Providing an existing ID is only legal during the overwrite operation invoked by insert overwrite command, or during the update operation invoked by UPSERT command. These two operations both need the ID to be provided in order to know which metadata to overwrite or to update. Their difference is that if a property value is not provided in the command, overwrite operation will set this property of the target metadata to default, while update operation will not change the property value of the target metadata. For example, override the first node with such a command. And we should be expecting the balance to remain the same, and the level to change to 4, and the open date to be cleared, since it is not provided. Here's another example. Try to update the third node with such a command. We should be expecting the balance to be changed to 100, while the level and the open date to remain the same since they are not provided. If the insert override command and the UPSERT command cannot identify any existing metadata through the given ID, or the ID is not provided at all, then these two commands will consider the metadata a new metadata and execute the insert operation. For example, compose an UPSERT command to update a node that is not existing. It finally inserts a new node. Overwrite and UPSERT operations both aim to modify the metadata that already exist in the graph set. They are frequently used for batch import of metadata into the graph set. Another important command to modify metadata is update, which does not rely on the ID to locate metadata, but on the filtering conditions. Compose an update command to set the level of the second node to 1. Compose another command to update any metadata with level 4 to level 2. Insert some edges in the 2D view. The insert, overwrite, and update operation on edges are pretty much the same as those on nodes, with only several points to be emphasized. Edge has only number ID. It does not have string ID. Edge has system properties from and to indicate the ID of its starting node and ending node. When composing insert, overwrite, and UPSERT commands for edges, from and to must be provided, even though the from and to are not to be overwritten or updated. For example, trying to update an edge using UPSERT command without providing from and to will fail. Ultipa Manager has facilities to import and export metadata files. And Ultipa also provides other tools related to ETL procedure, such as Ultipa Importer and Exporter, a set of cross-platform CLI tools to import and export metadata files to and from Ultipa Graph database, and Ultipa Maker, a web-based application that supports various types of data source to ETL data from this source to Ultipa Graph. Here's the summary of knowledge points of insert, overwrite, update, and delete of metadata, and most of them are covered in the demonstration just now. Let's check the syntax. Command insert only triggers the insert operation, and providing ID that already exists or not providing from and to of an edge will fail the operation. Command insert, overwrite will either trigger the insert operation or the overwrite operation if existing ID is identified. Providing ID that conflicts with the schema or not providing from and to of edge will fail the operation. Command UPSERT will either trigger the insert operation or the update operation if existing ID is identified. Providing ID that conflicts with the schema or not providing from and to of edge will fail the operation. Command update and delete employs filtering conditions to find metadata to be operated, and IDs are not allowed to be updated. Deleting a node will also delete all the edges connecting to it.